All right, hey everybody, welcome back. Another newsfeed video here for you. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and all that happy stuff if you want to down below. But here we go. Car buyers switching brands to get great deals. This is nothing new. This has been around for a while, but many people don't understand it. It's there. And it's important that you do know. We got a couple of things we're going to talk about today. This and buying used cars and what Gen Z does and some of their unique tactics. So it's going to be kind of a good one here. But they talk about tariffs in here, which means nothing. I'm so tired of hearing about tariffs. And, we're at a pivotal moment where ripple effects of I don't want to hear about tariffs. I don't care about the tariffs. We're talking about real world buying here. And so here it is right here. Savvy car buyers can find deals all over the place, but one incentive that has been hot as the weather changes is paying consumers to switch brands. Now, again, nothing new. Bronco did this when Bronco came out. They were offering $2,000 to anybody that owned a Wrangler to switch to Bronco. We see this stuff all the time. Mustang to Camaro, vice versa, that kind of thing. But it says, according to Cars Direct, major automakers are paying up to $2,000 right now to switch brands. This is what we call Conquest Cash incentives. You might have heard it before, the term Conquest Cash. Offers customers looking to buy or lease their next vehicle, and often the incentive is stacked onto other offers, meaning that this is it's not a either or. So many things today are either or. You get this one or you get that one. You don't get both. Conquest Cash is automatically on top of every other discount you can get. It is a bonus for you for leaving a brand to come to their brand. Just like when Verizon says, come over here, we'll pay off your old plan and give you a free phone. Okay, that is Conquest incentives. It's the same concept that happens in the automotive industry, and there are some going on right now. Cadillac, GM is offering 2,000 EV Conquest deals on its 2025 Optic and Lyric vehicles and its 2026 Vistique. Some of the dumbest names I've ever heard. But anyway, Cadillac's offering some. Honda Accord is offering some. Honda purchasers or leases can qualify for up to $2,000 in Conquest or loyalty cash bonus for their switch. In California, New Jersey, Connecticut, New York residents can stack that bonus on top of other incentives for even bigger discounts. Again, I've never heard of Conquest Cash not being able to stack everywhere, where it's automatically in addition to anything else. I've never seen it be an either or. Ford Bronco. Ford is specifically targeting Toyota owners with its Bronco Conquest deal, which offers $2,000 Toyota competitive Conquest cash or bonus cash. It says the deal is available in Los Angeles and San Francisco. Ford is also offering a $1,000 Toyota competition Conquest cash incentive on the Bronco Sport through September 30th. So pretty interesting that they got going that's going on. They, like I said, Ford has been going after Wrangler owners for quite a while. They offered that kind of an incentive. So there it is for you. It says, according to Cox Automotive, industry-wide, car makers increased their incentive spending last month to 7.3% of the new vehicle's average transaction price, up from 7% in June. July, automakers spent an average of $3,553 per vehicle to move inventory, reaching a high point for incentive spending this year. What does that mean for you? That means that they want to move vehicles. And again, remember, we live in a world where the automotive industry wants you to think that you only get the incentives that they offer. Okay, you only get what's listed on the website, and that is not true. Learn to negotiate, learn to work dealers, learn to do this stuff, and you can get way better than this. It's like employee pricing. Employee pricing is the worst deal around. I mean, we beat employee pricing all the time. So many people do, especially on my channel. Look at the comments. They destroy employee pricing without being employee pricing. Employee pricing is a handicap to those that know what they're doing. A lot of this stuff is the same way. Do not be fooled by what they tell you is the most you're going to get. Work the deals. Now, Gen Z is taking a different route here. They are planning to outsmart, again, here we go with tariffs. How Gen Z plans to outsmart tariff price hikes on cars. Nobody cares about the tariffs. But, it says right here, despite the often despite often having tighter budgets, younger buyers are already looking at ways to make ownership more affordable, talking about their cars. Okay, Gen Z's got it tough. I mean, they're in a world that costs a fortune to live in, and they're just getting started out, and it's a struggle for them. There's no doubt about it. Then on top of that, you have to remember, and if you're Gen Z, don't take this the wrong way, because I don't mean it as indirectly to you. I mean it as a overall whole. Most of Gen Z is very lazy and not very work-oriented, and I do not mean that in a bad way. We're just talking statistics here at that kind of stuff. They, look at Tic-Tac and all this stuff where everybody's like, you don't got to give a 2-week notice, just walk right out on your lunch break. And, again, it's a whole different generation of a different way of doing things. I'm not in it, and I don't care about it and what you're doing. So more power to them, whatever it is. But they are, for whatever reasons, self-inflicted, economical, or just the way the world works, they have it a lot rougher than many other people do, according to what people say. With that, they are getting more creative in trying to get a car because buying a new one is way out of reach for them. And it's understandable. I'm glad to see them getting creative. 63% of Gen X are planning to buy a car in 2025. Rather than deciding they're priced out of the market, many Gen Zers are finding creative ways to make ownership work. According to CarEdge, new car prices are still among record highs, so it's no surprise that almost 1 in 3 Gen Z shoppers plan to buy used over new. That is huge. 1 in 3, 33.3% plan on buying used. That is a big number, considering that is the up and coming world. Okay, most of the baby boomers, they're getting like one more car and they're done. Okay, then they're out. That's it. Maybe one, maybe two, but I'm just saying on average, that's it. Then you got Gen X coming in, 3-4 more cars, maybe max. And then you got the millennials. You see what I'm getting at here. Gen Z is where the auto industry needs to focus their attention. However, Gen Z, 33% of them are giving a middle finger to the auto manufacturers and saying no. Today, cars tend to last longer than they used to. In a few years and a few thousand miles on the clock can still be a reliable choice, especially for younger drivers. Potential issue here is supply. More demand for used could lead to prices rising. Bargain deals may become rare, but for many of the buyers, not just Gen Z, the used lot feels a lot more economical choice. No doubt about it. It can be, for sure. However, it can also come back to haunt you and be a bad thing. I have a tips list here that I'm going to pull up for you in just a minute here that's going to give you some ideas on making sure you do used right, okay? Brand loyalty doesn't catch as much weight with Gen Z. And many older buyers like to stick with the same brand. Younger shoppers are willing to make the switch if it saves money. According to a survey, about a third say they're leaning towards cheaper brands. That also is a major impact and a huge statistic for auto manufacturers. Toyota, for example. Toyota is banked all of its trucks and body-on-frame vehicles and everything it does in the last few years. They went from being affordable, reliable, simple, to way overcomplicated, loaded with tech, tremendously expensive, and they're hoping that their reputation will carry them. They're telling you right here in Gen Z, they don't care. They're like, no, we'll switch. We'll go to the cheaper one. We don't care about your brand. We don't care about brand loyalty. This could come back to haunt them tremendously. They're saying electric vehicles still remain a small portion of the overall market, but Gen Z more open to them than the older generation was. 14% of Gen Z buyers in the whatever study this is are considering an EV, nearly 5 times the rate of the baby boomers are. EV purchases, you don't get the $7,500 tax credit after September 30th. Survey found 73% Americans worry about affording a car, with that number rising to 75% for financially stretched Gen Zers. Pretty interesting stuff on here. Now, we're already 9 minutes in. I do want to give you this information here. So here we go. If you are buying used, check the Carfax. It is vitally important that you do this. This is mandatory. Check the oil maintenance schedule and see how it's done. Usually that is on Carfax. If you're buying the car from a dealership, if it's not on a Carfax, the dealership should be able to look this up for you, and you can check and make sure the oil change was done correctly and at the right intervals, not ridiculous ones. Okay, One owner is not good enough. On a Carfax, just because you see the little Carfax thing in the corner says one owner, that doesn't mean nothing. That one owner could have been an Enterprise Rent-A-Car for 3 years. So you have to dive in and check the Carfax. Go through it and look at everything. Sales guys are constantly lying about why a truck was traded in. Okay, if you see a vehicle on a lot, you're interested. Oh, why is this one traded in already? They probably have some stupid made up story that means nothing, and it is false. It is a lie. It is not true. It is a total load of garbage. Don't play that game. Don't you do the research for yourself. Sales guys lie on this stuff all the time. I've had it happen to me so many times, even when I'm just asking on purpose to catch them in a lie, and it's unbelievable. It used to be a fun game that me and Barry and we used to do this stuff. We'd look up a vehicle and see the Carfax, see everything on it, go up to the dealership, and you just go talk to them, and you literally, hey, tell me what's the deal with this one? What's the story behind it? Why do you guys got it? Oh, this guy used to pull it behind his camper, but then he realized that it was too much of a pain in the butt, and he wanted to get something smaller, so he got rid of it and got a little Jeep because it's easier to tow behind because it was a manual. No, it's not. It's nothing, again, you see what I'm getting at. Careful with brands that are barely used. Often people get rid of something that's barely used. They know they're going to lose money on it. And a lot of the time they're getting rid of it because it's giving them some kind of problems, whether you know it or not. But we hear it even in mine all the time on the comments. Okay, I took it into the shop 4 times. They couldn't fix it, so I dumped it. We hear this stuff all the time. Be careful with the barely used models. And then do a comparable search wider. Find things that are out there so that you can negotiate on these comparables when you're doing that, and that way you can get some pretty good deals on your used cars. Check credit unions for your rates. Remember, rates are always higher on used, and none of that stuff is obviously, like if you're buying a new Ford, you can go to Ford's website and see what percentage Ford is actually offering, or GM is offering, or Toyota is offering, and usually those are very good rates, but you can't do that with used. So with used, a lot of games happen with the buy rate, sell rate thing going on there, and how they do that, and they're going to try and take extra points from you. Check your credit union is your safe bet for your interest rates for your used vehicle. So, and for your new personally as well too. So questions, comments, anything you got, put them below. Thanks for watching.